this is Coach Sprout here talking to you a little bit about outfield defense today. There's a few things that we emphasize in our program, and it's kind of similar to our infield work and our catching work, where we're doing some daily routines that rotate through and give the kids work in both fielding and throwing on a consistent basis. I know youth teams have 10 players, sometimes 11 players, and so the arms get a little sore. But there's a lot of mechanical work you can do as infielders and outfielders every day that's going to help you so that you don't have to throw so much, but you're ready to make plays in a game. So what are our goals as outfielders? We have a couple of simple goals again. We want to position ourselves correctly, and again that goes to signs that we have from our dugout, knowing how many outs there are. So for example, when we get to 2 outs with nobody on base in an inning, we automatically go to no doubles, where our outfielders are going to back up and they're going to take away one line or the other depending on what type of hitter is up, so that we take away a double and make them get a single, another single, and then another hit to score a run, as opposed to a cheap double and then a bloop hit to score a run. Makes sense when you got 2 outs. There are other signs to go through. I can certainly show you those anytime you want, but again, that's going to depend on what type of age group you're working with and what type of level of play you're working with. The other thing we want to do is have great mechanics. Sounds simple in the outfield, but it's very easily something that gets away from kids. We work on mechanics. We want them to use them, keep their footwork short, be accurate with their throws, so it helps us make outs when we are supposed to make outs, and make a great play too when we have to. The third thing we want to do is quite simply make plays, get outs. Very consistent in the outfield. That's going to help save yourself runs, outs, you name it, when you get into a real game. So how do we do it? We communicate every time there's a hitter up what we're doing on defense with our players. Our infielders and outfielders know all the signs, so we get guys in the right spot. We know the situation in the game. That's talking and helping each other out with signals and verbal communication when necessary. We practice fielding daily with our outfielders. They get kind of bored when we're inside, but these little things add up to big plays when you get outside. Now, the third part is very important, and very few programs at any level really practice this very often. You need to throw to bases often. Every other day, we're going to talk about it a little bit, throwing to bases, so your outfielders actually practice it and don't just assume they can do it when you get into the game. Alright, so before we get into some daily work drills, we're going to take a second and look at some of the sponsors for our program, then we're going to get right into day 1 and day 2.
Kevin Moquist and MTK. Ewing and Rastic Real Estate Team. Woodbury Spine and Injury Center. Finishing Touch Car Care.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the fielding daily work that we do as outfielders in our program. Day 1 is going to be quite simply a lot of fielding work. As a coach, you can use this hitting a fungo. You can use this to throwing to kids if you're inside or you got a limited space. Doesn't matter to me as long as you're accurate in what you're doing. We're going to practice our signs every single day with our outfielders. We do a little bit of review so we know what no doubles are. Our coaches can give us this signal, so if there's a runner on second and we don't care if he scores, our players know that they just need to throw the ball into second base to keep the guy that actually got the hit from getting in the scoring position. This means our players are going to move in. This means they're going to go back. This means that we want our outfielders to cheat on the pitch and creep in so that they can anticipate a single and have a better chance of throwing a guy out at the plate. So a few signals that you could use, we use them every single game whenever we need them. Now, daily work, day 1, we're working on fielding the baseball. 3 different types, 1 on the ground, 2 in the air, and then 3 are going to kind of be those short hops that you got to work with as well. So when we're fielding the baseball, similar to infield, we want to be aggressive, field the ball out front whenever we possibly can. So if I got my foot down here and the ball's coming right at me, ball's going to roll at me. I want to field that ball right out in front of my front foot here and just to the side here. So once I field that baseball in this daily work, I field it and then I don't pop up right away. I stay down and then I do right, left, field, right to my target. If you let kids cheat here and take extra steps, you can tell them that base runners are going to get that extra step in the game and they're not going to have a chance to throw them out. You let them cheat here and in a game it's going to hurt your team. So you got to make sure that they do those steps correctly. Now that's a ball on the ground. You can also work them from side to side just like you would as you do with infielders. So you can have them work on this, getting over to the baseball, fielding that ball out in front with their glove right here. And again, you could have them field it like this, or you could have them work on getting around the baseball so that their momentum is going towards home as they're fielding the baseball instead of running way back at it. You could also have them fielding it this way, same idea in mind. All right, you want to have them get around the baseball so that they're moving towards the field, infield, when they have to make their throw. You can do pop-up work with them. Same thing. Ball's in the air. Catching that ball on this side of the body. This foot is going to come down with the ball as you catch it. And then from there, it's right, left, throw. So you're going to do it again. Catch the ball. Right, left, throw. And if you don't practice this, kids are going to get lazy and take extra steps. They will do it, and it's going to happen, and it will cost you runs in the game because kids take extra steps, and that gives the runner an extra step to take. Now, there's the other part that we practice as well. We challenge them a little bit. Sometimes we'll have the kids running from side to side with the coach in front of them, throwing balls on the line, so a kid will have to be sprinting across, and he's just going to have to look up, and the coach will be throwing the ball in the air, and they've got to catch it at different angles. They'll sprint back and forth from side to side and do this. The last one you can do is have kids running hard at the guy throwing the ball or hitting the ball, working on fielding short hops. So they'll be coming running, and they're going to work on attacking the ball with their glove. If they boot it, that's fine. You're clearly emphasizing that they need to be aggressive to the baseball and working on fielding those bad hops. So you're going to short footwork, and you're going to work on fielding that ball in front and getting into the throwing motion. So that's day 1, 20 minutes of daily work, just like that in outfielders. Day 2 is where I'm talking about throwing the ball to bases. You should go through that same situation, hitting balls on the ground, balls in the air, and have your outfielders throw to all the different bases. Here's the key. Do not put a relay man in there. If you do, only let them stand there. Never let them catch the ball. Set your outfielders up so that they have a decent throw to make, but something that they can make, whether it's on a bounce or in the air. That way they can see how their ball travels, if there's tail, how they can adjust it to make sure it's going where they want it to, and nobody's there to cut it off. So the outfielder really has to work on getting their ball to carry and go more towards that target. No rainbows, keep it low and on the line. If you do this every other day, every third day, your outfielders are going to be more accurate and more consistent in all their throws. So you got day 1, you got day 2. You got a couple days of daily work to do with your outfielders. Be consistent, short footwork. You're going to get outs. You're going to save runs. That's the outfielders.